Okay, so in the first chapter, I introduced you to Windows Server 2019. We talk about the advantages or the new features of Windows 2019. Now we are in week 2, and this chapter about the installation of Windows Server 2019. Why this chapter is important? Because this will introduce you to the lab. Our first lab will be installing a Windows Server 2019. Okay. By the way, for the lab, your laptop should have Hyper-V. Okay. If you don't have Hyper-V, please go to our IT here and ask them to install Hyper-V on your laptop. Okay. It's called Hyper-V. But you can run it also. Another option is they will give you access to the cloud. You go to Azure Labs, and then you can access Hyper-V from the lab, from the Azure. And this is easier, actually. Okay. So, you know the system administrator, the person who's responsible for the network. One of the tasks is to install Windows 2019, and we will teach you this in the lab, inshallah. Okay? Here he has to prepare, before installing, he has to do many things, or she has to do preparation. Can you think about something that should be done before you install a new operating system?
Backup.
Very good. You have to back up whatever you have. What else? Also, very good. And is your system compatible? Your applications will work with the new operating system or not? Okay, good. Okay, we have to understand also disk partitioning or partitioning schemes. Okay, it is a logical division to the hard disk. Okay, done by the operating system. And in general, we have two types of partitioning. We have MBR. MBR stands for what? Master boot partition. Master boot record partition. Okay. But now this is legacy, because it's only for small size hard disks, and it operates 512 byte disk sector with a maximum of 4 primary partitions. Okay. MBR uses logical block addressing, or LBA. Okay, and can support up to 2 terabyte only, which is not enough these days. We have also GUID partition table, GBT. This was coexisting with MBR. Okay, and it overcome the limitation of MBR. It is a 128-bit number that Microsoft uses to identify resources. Okay. And the main thing also you need to know that we have also the GPT. GPT is part of the Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, UEFI. This is replacing BIOS. You know, we all know the BIOS, right? Basic Input-Output System. UEFI is replacing this BIOS. Okay. How do I access the BIOS? It depends on your laptop or hardware. Some computers you hit Control F2. Some of them maybe there is a setup button. Okay. And when you want to boot your computer, there are also different ways. Have you ever installed the operating system on your laptop? You have to put DVD or maybe flash, صح? So they are explaining this to you. You can install it from installation media like DVD, okay? And you have to go to the BIOS and choose The first option for booting is DVD. Or you can boot from the USB, but you have to specify in the setup, boot from USB. Or you can do network boot, install it from the network, okay? Especially, imagine you have 500 computers. You want to install Windows on them. So it's better if you configure it to boot from the network. You don't have to go to each computer and install it. Yeah. You will put the media on the side. When you put the DVD, you will get this message. Press any key to boot from CD or DVD. You see it, the black box? Good. I know you know the F8, but with sometimes some laptops when you are booting, if you click F8, you will get these options. This is not available in Windows Server 2019. Okay. Here we have something called Advanced Startup Options. Okay. In case you have some problem with your system and you want to recover the operating system. Okay. How do we access it? You go to the Start button. You go to select settings, and in settings you select update and security here, update and security, and then you choose recovery. All right. We are not going to do this lab in a lab. We are not doing this because we don't have this part of the labs that we have in our lab manual. But it's still you need to know it. So these are the advanced startup options. You have system image, command prompt, or you can also choose the startup settings. Okay, what are the different types of installation methods? Who can tell us? Yes. What else? Yeah. And unattended. Yeah. And migration. So in the exam, if they ask you, that's why I want you to write notes. They might ask you, what are the installation options? Okay, or installation methods. List the installation methods. These are very good. Okay. There is where you will install from, where you will boot from. Boot options. That's called boot options. That one here was boot options. Flash or DVD or network. This is how you will boot. First time to install. But here we are talking about the installation method itself. Yani, you have a computer brand new, so you will do a fresh installation, clean installation. Okay. Or you want to install over the network using WDS. This is a utility. Or you want to do unattended installation. Or you want to upgrade. So you have Windows 2016. Let's say you want to upgrade it to Windows 2019. Or migration. Now we have 3 installation options, as we mentioned. Okay. But in terms of the roles and availability of the services, okay, you have 3 options. You have desktop experience, you know, yani full option. You know, when you buy something, they tell you this is full, it has everything. We call this desktop experience. Contains everything from Windows Server. So it will have the largest size. Okay. And it has GUI. GUI is what? Graphical User Interface. The second option is server core. And this is recommended by Microsoft. Why? Because it needs minimal hardware requirement or resources. It's more secure. Okay. And the roles and features can be installed locally through Windows, PowerShell, or remotely through Server Manager. But it will need more experience from the administrator. The third option is Nano Server. This is a replacement for server core that takes up far fewer hardware resources and less updates, and supports only 64-bit applications, and it is administered remotely because it has no login capabilities. Yani you just put the system and leave it. You access it remotely if you want to upgrade. Or, okay. We call this Nano Server. What is a clean installation? Some people call it bare metal. Bare metal installation and clean installation. Yani you buy a new computer, nothing on it, so you do a clean installation. Or you want to format and do a clean installation. But make sure you back up the data if you need it. Okay? And the clean installation, you will be asked some questions, so it's interactive. Okay. Can you read this from your PowerPoint? What's written here? Sorry? Okay. Performing installation over a network. Here, as I mentioned before, you have, let's say, 500 computers networked, and you want to install Windows Server on them. One option is to do the installation through the network. Yani they get everything from the network. And we call this network installation. But for this to work, you need to have WDS, okay, to enable installation over the network. And setting up the WDS is not hard, it's easy, okay? And so you have to add WDS role, and then you can install over the network. But your network should be fast, reliable, okay? But they might ask you some theory questions about it. But your network has to be strong, has to be fast, okay? And you can have something called unattended installation. Here, you require you will prepare answer file, like when it asks you where are you, which time zone. You have to prepare these answers so that you can do the installation without attending, without being in front of the computer. This is the meaning of unattended installation. You should prepare answer file. The another option is migration. So you bought a new machine, okay? And you want to move, you have an old machine, but you don't want to format it. You want to move all the options, all the roles, services, users to the new machine, okay? So first you install OS on the new machine or the new server. Then you run the migration, okay? And that's it. You don't have to create the users again, the applications again. But you have to make sure that if you have some old applications, they are compatible with Windows Server 2019. Okay, if you have something legacy, maybe it will not work.
Can you repeat?
If you have to check, you have before you create, you bought a new computer. I have old server, okay? I have an old server, and I put there, but the memory is less. I want something fast, so I purchased a new server, okay? What I will do first, I will install Windows Server 2019 on the new computer. First step. Second step, I have to check, make sure that whatever is installed on the old server will work on the new server. Some programs will not work. I have to check, ask the vendor. Okay. Then we run the migration. To migrate يعني هجرة. ينتقل from this one to the new server. It will migrate everything for you. So you don't have to install it again. Is it clear? Any questions? Okay. We talked just now about some of the slides you see, we are repeating some of the topic, but then we are explaining it more. I just told you about the unattended installation. We said what is the condition for unattended installation? What you should prepare? Answer file. Okay. Okay. Unattended, we call it also automated installation. Automated installation. Okay. But we will not do it in the lab, as I mentioned. Okay. So especially if you want to install, deploy many servers, so this one will help you. It's more efficient to use this way. Okay. So we should have the answer file, as I told you here. You see answer file. Should answer file, it is what? Is it a Word file? It's XML file. You know XML?
Yes.
Yes, XML file. Okay. It will store the answers. Okay. You can use Notepad even to create your answer file. All right. You also will need, we said WDS. You will need tools such as ADK and MDT. These are all needed to do the automated installation. All right? So you need to know this theory part. Any questions? What about if I have a server and I have old operating system like Windows 2016, I want to upgrade it to Windows 2019 on the same computer. We can do that also. We have also to check that they are compatible. Okay. We don't have to format. You don't format, you upgrade. Okay. But you have to make sure that you can do that, because let's say you can run, you see here, this is the condition, please. This is very important. You can run in-place upgrade to Windows Server if the actual server runs Windows Server 2016 or 2012 or 2012 release 2 or 2008 release 2. Other than that, you cannot. You have to format. Okay? How do we do it? 2008 release 2, you will upgrade it to 2019 in 3 steps. First, you upgrade it to 2012, then 2012 to 2016, and then from 2016 to 2019. Okay? Yeah. That's the way I need to start. Okay? Because you don't have extra hardware. You have your server, you want just to upgrade it in place. Okay. If I have Windows Server 2012, I can upgrade it in 2 steps. First to 2016, then from 2016 to 2019. 2012 R2 and Windows Server 2016, they can be upgraded directly. Don't forget, this is 2012 R2, release 2. Yeah. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Now we talk about the installation. When you do the installation, and we will do this in the lab, but I will explain some of these screenshots. It will ask you, do you want to change the server name? So you will change the server name here. Okay. Then it will ask you, do you want to join a domain? And already you have a network and you want to join it, or this is a standalone. Also, if you want to do remote desktop, you can enable it. Okay. These are all post-installation tasks. Renaming, joining, remote desktop. Okay. What else? Set up the IP address. Please don't forget these tasks, okay? We might ask you a question like this. Actually, it came in the form. What are the post-installation tasks? Okay. So you put the IP address. And by the way, we will do this in the lab. Okay. Another task also is, do you want to check for updates? You can also do that. Okay. And it is recommended. Okay, another option is to turn off the IE enhanced security settings. Okay. So this is another option. Internet Explorer. Also, another important option is changing the time zone. Because if you don't fix the time, this big problem, everything will not be synchronized, you know. So this is a post-installation task. Okay? And I'm sure you have seen this screen before, right? Okay, to activate your Windows Server desktop experience, okay, you need to go to the Properties section, select the highlighted, not activated settings of the product ID. Here where you will need, if you have purchased the license, you need to put the code. You know, when you buy a software, you need to put a code. They give you a code to put. But for us in the lab, we are using a trial version, so we will not do this. Okay? Any questions? Do you have any question on the previous slides? I don't want to go, and if you have something, any doubts, please ask me. Okay. This is the summary. Please read the summary. Okay. Anybody came late? I did not take his name. بس معلش خلينا ناخذ اللي اجى حد متاخر عشان ما نحطه غياب. شو اسمك؟ made Khalid. Anybody else late? شو اسمك؟ لا موجود حاطط موجود. مين بعد؟ شو سؤالك؟
البوست انستليشن تاسكس اللي هم changing the server name, joining the domain and using remote desktop.
all of these slides.
هذا كلهم post installation.
ايوه يعني اول ما بتركب ويندوز سيرفر 2019 you have to fix it. Okay, that's the meaning of post installation this. You have to do it when you install Windows Server. Okay, sitting in front of the computer. All right. The other tasks you can do later, but these are important tasks. By the way, some people they check not to, يعني, they might update and then they disable the update. They don't want to get always update from, especially if they have some applications they are worried that they might get some trouble. Okay. For the lab, as I told you, I have prepared a list and we will create for you Azure list. Did you have Azure login before?
Yes.
Okay, but they will create for you a new Azure for this course. Okay. I will send you also the link to the recording. Okay. I do the recording because sometimes the student is absent, sick leave, or some students they join after. And I have some students they joined our class after we started, so they can attend the recording. Okay. So let's have a short break, inshallah, and then we will continue. If you don't have a question.
بس ده البايثون العادي ولا اللي بايثون مع جافا شوي في الحين بايثون سهل. بس الماضي عندهم كلها عنوان خاص تذكر ولا شوي. ذكرت يعني. Thank you for your الحين ما عندك شيء، بتقدر تاكل مع
لا
انا ضيعت لا كثير هي ضيعت انا الامتحان هي
هذا تعجل كذا الثاني
احسن ولا ناقص صح؟
السلام عليكم. Hi, doctors. Hi, how are you? Good. Can I call you later? I'm a bit busy now. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, any questions about week 2?